Today I want to, good day to you. Today I want to speak to you earnestly about the dreamy child. Sometimes I call her the Amygdala child. Commoner in girls, but there may be boys like that, who are dreamy. They see in pictures. So they are called the pictorial processing child, whereas the other set of children will be verbal processing. Sometimes they have both together and they talk amazingly quick little cliches and so on with pictorial. They will quickly say something, catching up the whole situation, and they can be quite witty. At the same time, because of this dreamy nature in them are increased and they are wired like that from the mother's womb, they are more active in their bottom-up regulation through amygdala, hippocampus and hypothalamus, rather than their top-down, executive, empathic, detailed management process. So you must not increase their dreaminess and their kinesthesia, nor must you suppress it. You have to provide room for the dreamy child to do art, knitting, music, at the same time somehow increase his or her attention span so that they can keep a 40-minute period of study at school and at home also, or at tuition. The 40-minute attention span develops around about 8, 9, 10 years. Before that, insisting that children sit down and learn this for so many minutes, beyond 30 minutes is not reasonable, though most schools fix their timetable period as 40 minutes from grade 1. Grade 1 to 5, let's say grade 1 to 3, if they can sit and do for 30 minutes and then rest of the time be interactive and so on. But from 10 years, their attention span should be about 40 minutes. Then what about the child who's dreamy, kinesthetic and all the time thinking of pictures and dreams? This will become vastly increased and out of control if you give the child the screen. So screen-brain balance is an important thing parents must practice. Best thing is, and this is what my student tells, is a professor of psychiatry, not to give a child a smartphone till they finish A-level, conclude A-level. Now most parents will think it is extreme. But if a child after O-level gets into the smartphone because you give it to him, he will not study for the required level of study in the A-level. But of course many kids move away from formal study, from O-level, into other schemes which you have to, other streams which you have to choose very carefully, otherwise they will be all the time changing their study field. But our topic today and our concentration is on the dreamy child, the amygdala child who feels melancholy easy, weeping child syndrome, teary child, very sympathetic, wants to help every beggar on the road. So parents must actively participate in this inborn nature of this your child. So when I say inborn, it is how the kid's brain wired, very empathic, intuitive, thinks a lot from the inside, thinks a lot for others, and then they can get quite audio visual on how they feel, and they are moved in that direction. They may not be good at sports because they usually don't keep length and line. So you have to get them into some kind of sport that they like, and swimming is one of the best brain balancing, body balancing activity, and it has enough kinesthesia. Take them early for swimming, take them early for music, and a stringed instrument is quite good to make the brain tracks. Then you need to get the child into board games, and father must lead the way. When a child needs a special management mode in the timetable, nothing wrong with the child. This is not a medical condition. This is how you develop the child's brain tracks in an empathic way, the way he or she would like it to develop. And you help them to keep the default mode network of thought, that is initiation, navigation, whatever they are doing, do it to a finish. Then successful conclusion, good reward. The child is clapping from her inside, and you are also appreciating the boy or girl and giving tips for improvement. So you don't say, that was wrong, I don't know what's wrong with you. You can't talk that language even when they err. Some children you will find agitatory and they err more than others, miss the mark more than others. You have to have a different management principle for that. Most parents, when a child is jittery and school begins to complain saying this child disturbs the others, you will take a child to a doctor and he tends to give methylphenidate or other mood-altering, behavior-altering drugs. Delay it as much as possible and deal with empathic therapies. I am not saying don't give drugs. I am Dr. Lalith Mendis. I was the founding head of pharmacology in a state faculty of medicine. Now I am retired. I am also the director of Colombo Empathic Learning Center. So I am advising you, make home the child's playpen. So I have written an article on how parents have to be the therapists. When a child is found, attention span is low, attention intensity is low, hyperactive, impulsive, we train parents to be the therapists. So don't jump to solutions thinking drugs will cure the problem. It won't. There are conditions in which a drug can help child attend school, attention deficit to be improved by more focus, but you must be the first therapist at home. Make home happy and productive for your dreamy amygdala child. So this dreamy nature comes with also seeing more than others, feeling more than others, hearing more than others kind of feeling. They are speculative. Later they may want to do actuaries, entrepreneur. Of course art, you see more than others when you draw something. Photography, so they can become professional artists, musicians, entertainers because of their kinesthesia. So in their 7 brain tracts, the kinesthesia, acoustic and visuals have wired more than their empathic intuitive, empathic relational. Certainly their empathic intuitive is wired, but how to relate with others, they may want to do it their own way. Then their language tracks have to be developed. Then they are weakest in their management mathematical track, and don't insist that they get so much from math, but somehow get them to also apply math as a subject because math is involved in management. Even the toddler, when he toddles around, he is doing 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and that gets him to the where the mother is or whatever. So I am talking about the dreamy child because if you don't attend on the child will begin to get depressed, and then they think they think they are not performing that well. So they always have a sense of I didn't do as much as I ought to have done, because they are fantasizing. And if you add the screen, TikTok influences and different web platforms, if they get into because you have given them the smartphone or a digital gadget, problem becomes much more because they are already thinking fantasia, and the screen begins to put them into more fantastic mode, monsters, other planets, what you can do. And then they begin to compare themselves with YouTube influencers who are doing much more fantastic. I am not there. So this trying to catch up. Not necessarily competitive, but wanting to feel fulfilled, appreciated, performing, can put them into stressful mode. So don't let them get isolated, waiting in their room by themselves, more and more screen time. Somehow you have to keep your family meal times. If you are the praying kind, keep your family prayer times. Meal is therapeutic because meal time is oxytocin time for happy communication, GABA time for empathy, serotonin time for satisfaction. Make maximum use of meal time, particularly the weekend meal times and certainly every dinner time, to engage this dreamy amygdala child who tends to be more emotional than others. So that you have fully taken part in all activities, the Montessori concert, school concert, dad going and dropping them for extracurricular activities, all that. So when a child's borders are being challenged, dad has to be there to affirm the child. Dad is the quality control and quantity surveyor that the child is achieving the height and stature at each season that they feel inside them. That God's scope, God's scroll that are written into them, that they are achieving it. So they are very keen on achieving. So help them to achieve small things and get on to greater things. Mother makes it daily safe. But the next step, next promotion, step up. They always look to the dad. So dad can't abscond and think this is a mother's problem, home's problem, I am busy in the corporate. Your best corporate to develop is home, your children's future. So please take time for this, dad. So I hope this helps you to understand so that children don't get into risk behavior, suicidal risk, other risk, prevent it and recognize when it is developing, when the kid is isolating and so on. I have done many other clips. I have done a longer clip on suicide risk. I am Dr. Lalith Mendis. If you want to contact me, you can do so on WhatsApp, +94 74 211 5011. And also you can download my app, Golden Nuggets, from App Store or Google, free of cost. If you want to take an appointment, free of cost, I don't charge, from Empathic Learning Center, please give a call to my secretary, 077 151 2801. This all to help you to understand your kid, and before they get into extreme behavior, isolation and selfie behavior, how you can interact with them. Thank you for listening.